Hi folks, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Depends if you're on catch-up, I guess, doesn't it? Welcome along on a Tuesday morning. This is Tuesday Morning Circuit, a little bit different for you today. A new session starting continually and kick off of our phase 3 again. So, number of people available, a lot less. So we're just going to have Nathan with us today. So Nathan's going to be our, I was going to say dummy, but that's wrong. Nathan's going to be our model today. There we go, we'll go with the model. Remember, from a warm-up perspective, about the 9, 10, 11 mark, and from a main workout perspective, at around a 12, 13, 14 mark. So as far as your warm-up is concerned, make sure you've got some space available to you. Make sure that you've got some water, and let's get out. I'll start with a march. So a little march on the floor, a yo for a mash. Yo mash. So just these feet coming off the floor. So lifting the foot off the floor, placing the down first in, rolling through onto the ball of the foot and then onto the heels. And then moving, put an arm swing in as well. So we'll generate this arm movement from our shoulder, driving the elbows backwards so that we've got that movement into our shoulder. We're mobilizing through our shoulder. I'm not sure whether Nathan's drawn the short straw or is the lucky one today. We'll see at the end of the hour show. So what's going to happen today with this circuit? From there, let's take it in width and just do a little bit of a knee bend so we start to mobilise and warm up through this. So today what's going to happen is we'll demonstrate, Nathan will demonstrate each of the movements to you, whether it's easy, medium or hard. 20 seconds of each one. So you will choose the one you want, but Nathan will do 20 seconds of each one for you. Into this knee bend, what's happening is the bomb is going backwards. Knees coming no further forward than shoes there, look. Brilliant. And then hold it there for me, and let's do a trunk rotation to the side. So try and keep the hips locked if you can. Just move, rotating, so we're mobilising through there. I'm thinking as well that Nathan's had his 2-weekly haircut at the weekend. Yes. Looking smart, not like this. Looks like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards every time. I'm waiting for mine to have. Take the clippers to it. And then say, deal with that next time I go to the hairdressers. Right, brilliant job. Okay, from there, come back in. Let's take it in up a bit this time. Higher. Now I know we've got Audrey with us. We've got Mash with us. Good afternoon or good morning to all three of you. Welcome along. This is our Tuesday morning circuit. And then from there, let's take it into a knee lift, please, Nathan. And let's bring an arm across. So we're starting with just the hand to bring that arm across. So again, we've got a bit of trunk rotation in there. Knee up and lowering down. Okay, from there, release out of that and give it to a heel kick behind. So shifting the weight, we've got a movement, shift of weight from side to side and bringing that heel up towards the bum. So we're working and we're loosening into the front of the thigh. Excellent. Okay, from there, come back into your march, make it a bit better, and let's bring those arm swings in again. Really focus on drive backwards. That's it. Good job. Great work. Okay, from there, bring it in. Let's have a little heel dig in front. And while we're doing, we'll try and keep the elbows in line with your shoulders. They're into the side of the body, but not pressed. There's a small space between the side of the body and the elbows there for Nathan. But by doing that, movement into our biceps rather than shoulders if we keep the elbows in line. And then hold it there, bring it back into a march, and let's take that knee lift in again. Make it a bit of a bigger movement this time, so taking the hand over the top. Didn't even have to give a cue there, he went straight for it, look. I need to throw something in next time to throw him off. Not really. And then from there, wide, and let's do a shift of weight from side to side. So just loosening up through the inner thigh. Excellent, we've got some good work in there. So this movement here will certainly be coming in useful later on as far as one of your stages. And then just hold it down on one side for me, Nathan. Come back into the center and the other way, just so we get a little bit of a stretch. Come back in and march it out, and let's take those arms around in circles to the side. And then take them the other way. And then way and one the other. Ooh, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. That tightrope walk look as well. Brilliant. Okay, wonderful. From there, come back in, push it out. Really take the arm over this time. So it becomes a bit of like a front crawl type. Really rotating through those shoulders and warming into those hips as well. Yeah, let's just really focus into our hips. So if you've got something to hold on to, need something to hold on to, hold on and swing the leg forward. We're just going to come to the side here so you can see this. Can you see the movement comes from the hip? So the body's staying upright and the movement happens from the hip. Do a couple more on that side and then foot back down, find your balance on the other side and away you go. And again, that movement back. Not a huge swing backwards, not a huge swing forwards really, but all of it happening from the hip. So no leaning forward or back as you do that movement. Brilliant. From there, take the feet out and take them shoulders width and let's come down to the side, reaching down towards our knee, back into the center with a pause and then the other way. That pause just allows us to regain our posture. Great job. Okay, and from there, come back in, march it out, and what we're going to do is take a step forward, half lunge, and then back in. So we're not going to take this down really deep. We're just going to step forward and back. Wonderful job. Do one more each side, and then when you've done that, have a little to pause for a second, and then we're going to take that move backwards. So we're going to step backwards. That's it. That gives Nathan a bit of a chance to come forward. He's a bit close to the edge. So again, we're coming down onto the toes at the back. Just the toes coming down, pushing down through those toes, but not letting the whole foot go down. Powering through that heel to come back up at the front. Great job. Okay, from there, come back into a march. Thank everybody, and let's get ourselves ready for our first circuit. So, we're going to do a sit to start off with. Now, Nathan's got one of our, but we can use whatever you want to as far as this. Have a chair with arms if you want, or a chair without arms. But the important thing is the motion. So let me come around this side so we can see. Okay, so our first one is our easy sit to stand. Placing down onto the chair and powering up. Now, can you see where the heels are? They're just behind the knees, so that as he powers up, there's no pressure. Thank you, Nathan. That's our easy. Nathan adds a weight in, and again, we've got here a medicine ball, but remember, you can use tins, with water, filled with soil, sand, anything like that. So same movement. We take it to our hard level, and what we've got here is the feet a little bit wider, and can you see there, just down and not quite touching or just chair, choice is yours, yeah? But not actually sitting all the way down. You'll notice with that one that the feet were a little bit wider with that one as well. Yeah? Okay, so let's get ourselves ready to go. Feet are in line with the outside of the hip. We've got a minute to go and let's hit it. I'm going to shout out the 20 seconds so that Nathan knows when to change. Which that means I've got to count on a Tuesday morning. Good grief. What's all this about? Here we can see, placing down. Now, it's really important here. It's not down into that chair. We're not letting yourself drop into it. Okay, brilliant job. Do you want to change to your medium one? Medium one here, we've got that weight added in, but exactly the same again. The feet are flat on the floor, lowering with control into that chair, and then powering through the heels to come back up. Nice controlled movement. The posture is strong, so have a look at the back. Can you see how the back is staying straight? Right, this is now for the last 20. Stay with the one you want though. Feet went a little bit wider. The movement is still the same, but we're just touching that chair at the bottom. Not actually sitting all the way, but placing your backside down onto that chair and then bring it back up. Back is still staying straight, and there's more of a change here. That's your first minute. Well done, everybody. On to our second station. This is our lateral raise. So, again, we've got an easy, a medium, and a hard. Now, our lateral raise is taking the arms out to the side. So there's our easy option. Not a big, huge move. It's a march. Arms coming out to the side, no higher than shoulders. We take it to our medium option, and the medium option has an addition of weight into it. So again, you've got the option to utilise or water bottles or something like that there. The shoulders and lowering back down. And then our harder option, we take it into a split stance. So have a look at the back foot. Back foot is onto the toe. Yeah. Those are your three options. Get yourself ready. One, and let's get ourselves ready to go. So off we go. First option, although there's no weight involved, create your own resistance. So feel as you raise those arms up. Imagine you're having to push something up above you, and then as you come down, you're pressing it back down towards the floor. Feet are moving the whole time, just keeping that march. It could be a heel raise, it could be a wiggle of the toes, anything, so we've got some movement into those feet. That is your first 20 seconds, so we'll switch across to our medium. You keep going with whatever you're on, and just so you can top up on this medium option there, you can see, Nathan, the feet are staying still this time because we've added the addition of weight in. So the feet have gone a little bit wider. They're now just outside the hips. Still taking it no higher than the shoulder, and here's our flipping back. Do is if you're doing this, change your lead foot over every now and again. So Nathan, if you want to change your lead foot for this last 10 seconds, at the back, controlled movement, standing tall. Control those weights on the lower down. Remember, you're in charge, not the weights, so don't let them dictate the speed. Lovely, that is your minute done. We go on to our third one, which is knee raises. Now, we did plenty of these into our warm-up. There you go. So it's what we did at the one where we brought the knee up. We're trying to bring it parallel, level with our hip if we can. Have a look at the foot placement, bringing the heel up first, then the toes, and placing down on the toes. Hand option, we're taking the forearm across, so a bit more of a trunk rotation. Take it to our harder option, and it's that swimming move. It's almost as if it was planned. So can you see your three options? So no additional, you can quite easily go up and down through these levels. All right, so a minute to go, starting with our easy option. There we go. So again, from the side, so standing tall the whole time. Have a look at the feet. Peeling the toes off as the last option, and then placing the toes back down as the first movement. It's quiet, so if you could hear, there's very little sound. That's your 20 seconds, so go on to your next one. So we're going to take the forearms across now. Movement's exactly that Nathan just increased the range of motion through the mid-region there, so added more of a trunk rotation into that. Still placing the foot down gently and quietly, and to our last 20 seconds, take it a little bit higher. And there's that big rotation of the shoulder. But again, if we come to the side, you can still see the good, strong, tall posture. It's that rotation through the shoulder and back. Now, you work with rotation, so if you have a lack of mobility as far as the shoulder is concerned, it doesn't have to be that big, but try and bring it a bit higher if you can to sort of chest height. There you go, that's your minute. Getting a sweat. Right, this step and a tricep kickback. So, again, we have our three options, our easy, our medium, and our hard. Here's your easy option. So can you see the we did in the warm-up? We did it as a lunge, but this is the movement. Back onto the toes, front foot is staying flat on the floor. Can you have a look very closely at these arms? Sorry, I'm just going to focus on this for a minute. Nathan, can you see how it's just the bottom part of the arms that are moving? The upper arm is staying still. We go to our medium option, and we're going to add some weight in there. Movement, look. Altering foot every time as he steps back. All that's happening is the weight. But again, the upper arm is staying still, so you're really focusing. And then we take it to our harder option. Right back. So there's that lunge that we did into the warm-up. Now, I'm just going to hone in a little bit. Stand, come back into your easy option, or your medium option for me. Can you see the movement in the muscle of the back of the upper arm? That's what you're aiming for. So now if you start to move from your shoulders for me, Nathan, can you see the difference? It doesn't happen. Yeah, it's happening into the shoulders. Lovely job. Okay, so that's why we say keep the upper arm still. Let's go for your minute. Off we go. Right. Foot placement coming back. The front foot is staying strong on the floor. Posture is tall. Those arms are staying with the elbows in line. Again, even though you haven't, imagine you have. Feel the tension in your arms as you press against something. Take it back. That is your first 20 seconds. Nathan's going to change to his medium option here. You keep going with whichever one you're on. And there is the medium option. With weight added in, but it's still the same movement going through. Pushing the arm back, keeping the elbow in line with the shoulder. Coming up to our last 20, and that gets bigger as we go to the high. So it's a big step back, but the foot still doesn't go down at the back. Look, just on. Place that down. If we place the heel down, going back in this motion, what you're doing is you're putting a lot of pressure on your calf, and we really want to try and avoid that. By keeping the knee at the front no further forward than your shoes as well, you're protecting the front knee joint. So now we come on to a reverse fly for you. Okay. Our reverse is here. So it's that opening motion. Hip hinge there, not a huge one. Nathan's just leaning forward slightly, but hinging from the hip, not bending from the waist. Knees a soft look. Can you see that as well? And the movement comes out no further back than the shoulder line. Option, we're going to add weight in as well, but it's exactly the same movement. And you can see here, we've possibly got a little bit more of a bit more of a hinge from the hip, just to allow for that weight coming in. But the arms still don't go further back than the shoulder as far as the weights are concerned. Back a little bit more. That's it. To our higher option, we add that split stance in. Now again, we've got that hinge from the hip in there to ensure straight. And with this one, if you're going to go for this one after 30 seconds, you would change your lead leg over. All right? So choose the one that you want, folks, and let's get ourselves ready to go. And off we go. Lovely. So this fly movement, it's taking the arms. Imagine you having to pulling something back towards you, and then press the arms back in together. If I come to the front, look, can you see the chest opening? Yeah? And if we come round the back, if I go, look, can you see the shoulder blades squeezing together? That is your 20 seconds. So we're going to take it to the higher option. The medium option now has the additional weight, but again, exactly the same movement. So the chest is opening as the arms come back. Squeeze, repeating the movement, reversing it, come into the center. This takes us into our higher option here, and our last 20 seconds. And again, just onto the toes, not pressing the whole foot down. Now, because it's not a big step back, there's not toes onto the toes and the ball of the foot here. Right, so your reverse fly. So Nathan's going to get himself a quick drink while I just do babble on for a little minute. You can see he's starting to warm up. So all of those movements you've done so far, they relate to everyday life. You know, that movement is really important. Movement within our knees and within our hips as far as walking is concerned. Our hips play a crucial part as far as that is concerned. Moving on, we're going into our core rotation, so really working into our core here. So again, so here's your easy move. Get a stage higher here, so what's happening to the toes as we twist. So we're lifting the foot off the floor so we don't put any undue pressure onto the knee. That's our easy option. Our medium option adds a weight in. It is held in close to the body. Now I want you to really focus on this because have a look at what's happening with that ball. His elbows in line with his shoulders. Now if he doesn't keep his elbows in line with his shoulders, what happens is that the shoulders do the rotation more than the core itself, and we want to focus into the core. Okay, our harder option, we take the weight away. The further away the weight, further away from the body weight is more intensity in there. We've increased the intensity as far as that movement is concerned. All right, so those are your three options. Choose which one you want to do. Let's go for our minute and off we go. So, hands on this one. Nathan's gone for the folded in front, but they could be wherever you want to really. Just focus on trying to make sure that the trunk does the move. And that's one of the reasons that we've gone with this move for Nathan. Now that's your 20 seconds. What happens if we don't have a focal point is that we tend to rotate through the shoulders more than we actually do through the trunk. The hands folded or onto your belly button, for instance, something like that. That means that rotation goes straight into your trunk where we want it. Notice the little lift of the leg. It's the heel that's lifting, it's the rotation. We're just coming onto the ball of the foot as we do that trunk. That's 20 seconds coming up now. That bigger move. So the weight has moved away from the body. And remember, as I said before, the further away the weight goes, the more intensity you're adding into that movement. Going through there and keeping tall and straight the whole time. You have your last station as far as this is concerned, and this is your skater hop. So in the warm-up from leg to leg, that's what emulates this sort of move. So our easier option is there, yeah? So a bend from the hips. Just keep me going for a second for me, Nathan. Can you see there? It's a hip hinge and there's no bending from the waist, thank you. Medium option takes it to a step outer. So there's that shift of weight. A crafty little shift of the weight out of the way there as well. That's not part of it. Okay, so can you see it's like a step out, then bring you back into the centre. Now when you come back into the centre, don't put your feet right width, okay? And then our higher option, got that actual, what people would probably imagine as a skater type movement. So if you think about speed skating, that's the movement. It's shifting weight from side to side and taking the arm across, so you've got some trunk rotation. Okay, choose the level you want. Move from no weights involved. Ready for your minute? Off we go. So option one is that hinge at the hip and reaching down towards your toes. Staying tall, make sure the back stays straight as you hinge from your hip. We've got 20 seconds of this as far as Nathan's concerned. You want to? There's your 20 seconds, Nathan, if you want to take it to the next level for me. So this has now got out. Have a look at the step. He steps out, toes go down first, the heel, pushing through his heel to bring himself back into the centre, but feet not coming all the way together. We're staying hips width, so we've got a base of support to work from, and take it for Nathan into our higher option. So there's your conventional skater type move. Lovely. And that movement there, still coming down onto the toes first, look. The land is of the toe first and then through to the heel, then powering off back, last part to come off the floor as we move from side to side. This is your first circuit, folks, that's your first round. Grab yourself a drink, pay a visit, anything you need to do. Keep the feet moving though, don't stop, okay? We're gonna have a little bit of a break and then we're gonna do it all again. Now, you know the options that you have, right? He deserves one, doesn't he, having to do all that on his own. I'm just standing here talking about the word. So you've seen the options, and you can see the ones where you can quite easily move up and down. If it doesn't involve weight, you can quite easily move up and down. So you could try taking it to the next level if you feel comfortable with it. And if you try the next level up, you can always come back down, even if it means popping the weights down if you've decided to go to a higher level that includes weights. But as I say, there are some in there that there's no weight involved in it. You can quite easily... there is a weight involved in that movement by going from the easier option to the harder option by slowing it down a bit, and from going from the medium option to the harder option, sitting all the way down. So plans for you there to actually try something different. Okay, feet have been moved. Get ourselves going and we'll take it through again. So we've got our sit to stand. So what we'll do this time is we'll just go straight through it for you. We won't worry about the demos, we'll go straight through it. So we've got a minute to go, and again, Nathan's going to give you all three options. So your minute is going now. So your first, if you're on easy, remember it's that sit to stand all the way down. Knees are just in front of the heels. So you've got that movement, and as you stand up, you're not putting any undue pressure onto the knees. We're keeping that moving the whole time. It's a fluid movement. Take a rest if you need to. The hands are just across so that you're avoiding pushing, but if you need to push your hands down onto a chair to stand up, do. Mark that as go. Change to your next level for me, and on our next level we've got some weight involved. So off we go with that weight. Now remember, I said to you, if you wanted to try this level, you could increase the intensity by just slowing that movement right down if you didn't have a weight available. But the option we've got here is with that weight. The weight is close in, sitting back into it, lowering with control. Our higher option, and you can see the feet went a little bit wider, and we're just placing down onto the chair without actually sitting all the way. So just feel the chair behind you and change your mind and stand back up. Do it in your shoes so that you're avoiding any undue pressure onto your knees. And that is your minute. So let's get ourselves ready with our next one, which is our lateral raise. So again, this one has weight involved in. Easy option, remember, was just the lateral raise. The harder options included the weights in them and the stance. So if you're going for there, choose it. Medium, get your weights away. Off we go. So the arms are coming out to the side, no higher than shoulders. If you're in the easy option, the feet are moving. We've got a little march here. We've got to have a raise of the heels. Anything, so we've got some foot movement happening downstairs. Back is tall, standing straight the whole time. Head level. There's your 20 seconds. So we're going to switch across for you. If you're still in that medium movement, then just carry on going with it. The addition of weight in means that the feet stay still. So the feet are anchored on the floor this time. Knees soft. Not bent, but soft, so we're not locking them out. And we're still bringing that weight up no higher than our shoulder and controlling it as well. And then our harder option comes into a split stance. So the back foot onto the coming up to where the shoulders is, and tall posture. So again, have a look from the side. Can you see how Nathan is standing tall, standing straight? Onto the toes at the back, and if you were going for that one, you just switched over halfway through. But we're making sure that we're not putting our heel down at the back. That is your minute, folks. Let's move ourselves on to our next one, which is our knee raises. Now, with our knee raises, hang on a second, we back out the timer. With our knee raises, you've got your three options again. So with our knee raises, we've got those three options of easy, medium, hard, and it's all about the motion as far as the hands are concerned. So, minute to go, and off we go. So with the option, you've just got the placement of the hand across onto the opposite knee. Remember, this is the one that we of in our warm-up, so it's about the arm movement. Feet-wise, foot that's staying on the floor, the knees staying soft, the knees hip and staying strong. There's your 20 seconds, so take it across to your high level, and it's the forearm, these feet, the toes, the last part to peel off, and the first part to come back down. The knee soft on the supporting leg, and standing strong. Now, if you lock the knee out on that supporting leg, and the last 20 seconds for Nathan here is that high through the shoulder. So whichever one you've chosen, have a go. Remember, I say to you earlier on, challenge yourself if you can. So we can go up and down without the addition of weight. Have a go at a higher option, see how it feels. The whole time, you can quite easily make those movements up and down with one. There's your minute. We're into our back step and tricep kickback. So remember, this is the one that, again, the weights are in there, but it's about keeping the shoulders in line with your elbows. So, easy, medium, or hard is the one where you're going to step back, tap the foot back, come onto the toe, take your lower arms back to work into the back. You ready? Off we go. So, here's your first option. You can see that we have. There's the toe tap I'm talking about. It's just the toes that are coming back and tapping. The front leg is staying strong. On the floor, knees soft, and the elbow So we're focusing into the back of the arms. It's just the arm below the elbow that. So Nathan's going to add some additional weight in here now to take us to the higher option. Moves exactly the same. Added in. And again, remember, you can use tins of soup, bags of stuff as long as it's secure, or bottles of water or sand, pebbles, soil, anything like that will give you some additional weight. And the higher option is the bigger move back. So there's that bigger movement. And it's really important with all of these, but especially this, it's just the toes. The upper body stays exactly the same. It's dipping a little bit further, but that's because the foot is going back further, so it's a deeper movement. The front knee's still coming no further forward than the shoes. Lovely. That's our tricep kick back and our back step. We've got the reverse flies. This is when we're opening the chest together. So, easy, medium or hard, you choose. There's addition of weight if you're going for medium or hard. Feet are just outside the hips. We're ready, and let's go. So there's your reverse fly movement. Same movement all the way through feet and what's happening with weight. So our medium option, you've got the addition of split there. Staying strong, standing tall, knees soft. Here's our 20 seconds, so Nathan's going to switch over, but you carry on going as you are, whichever one you've chosen, and you can see exactly the same movement still. We're still just squeezing those shoulders together. Now, in everyday life, shoulders roll forward. With the types of jobs we've done over the years, we tend to have a forward motion as far as our shoulders are concerned. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Last 20 seconds for me, Nathan. So here's the split stance coming in and the wipe of the brow there, look. We've started to let the shoulders come forward. So squeezing is really great for bringing you back into a good postural position. And if we squeeze those shoulder blades together, that upper body, what we do is we open the rib for the lungs to expand, so potentially you've got more air getting in as well. Right, we have 2 left to go. Your core, again, this has weight to it, but this is where we're rotating through the core. We want to try and keep the hands still so the shoulders don't the movement. We're ready? Off we go. So we've got the feet hips width apart, a little bit wider, probably shoulders width apart, sorry, they're outside the hips. And as the rotation happens, look, the heel lifts and there's a twist on the toes as well. So we're actually allowing the whole leg to rotate as well, so we don't those knee joints. You keep going, there's the 20 seconds. The Nathan's going to change to add some weight in. The first addition is the weight is close into the body. So exactly the same movement. We've just added some weight in. So we've got it contained within our centre of gravity. To take it to the next level, which we won't do yet for Nathan, but you extend it away, and then that gives you additional resistance. So if you take it to the next level for Nathan, we've got that a little bit further, still got that rotation through. The movement downstairs has not really changed. Addition of weight into the upper body and really shoulders still, so the movement happens through the trunk. Throughout the day, we never turn to face something before we pick it up. A lot of the time we'll just rotate and pick it up, won't we? Our last one is our skater hops, and the trunk also plays a really important part in our overall balance. It helps us to sit tall. Okay, so your skater hops is the shift of weight from side to side. The first one, remember, was the reaching down and touching your toes, and then the other ones were medium, was stepping down, and the third one was the actual shift of weight completely from side to side. A minute to go, and let's do it. So again, this is one that you can go up and down through those levels without actually having and change. You don't need to add any weight into it. It's all about the movement. That's why it's called a hip hinge. But there's no bending at the waist. There's the 40 seconds, so that's our first 20 seconds. So let's take it to the next level, and there's the step out. It's coming down and reaching to the opposite toe, but there's that step out, coming back to the center, not bringing the feet too close together, so that we've got that base of support to work from. Final 20 seconds, which is we might imagine a speed skater doing. So that shift of weight from side eyes. The toe is the last part to come off. It's the first part to come down onto the floor. The hinge from the hip is straight, so don't bend through your waist. Stay tall, stay strong through the back. And there is your circuit for today. Let's applause for Nathan. Phone's shaking while I'm doing it because I'm trying to slightly different for you today. So because we have things are starting to get moving again down here. So Nathan very the model for today so that we can show you all three and then giving you a burst of 20 seconds of each one of them. He used to go and have a lie down and a drink, doesn't he? He worked really hard there. Now, what I want you to do now is cool down. So you need to start moving around, have a walk, have a march, have a walk on the spot, do some knee lifts, those sorts of things again. So exactly the sort of stuff that we did in the warm-up, but in reverse. Bigger movements and making them smaller. Minutes at least, as far as your cool down is concerned. Bringing the breathing down, focus on bringing the heart rate. So let us know what you thought of it. It's a different format today. It's sort of driven by our I wanted to try and still keep something going for you as far as online is concerned. So please let's have your feedback, let's have your comments. What did you think of it? Did it work for you? All those sorts of things. We'll say goodbye to Nathan as he comes. Thank you very much, Nathan. Good job. And we will see you real soon, folks. Take care. Bye.